The ProACT Know-How, brought to you by ProACT.
Hi, this is ProACT Sam. Welcome along to this episode of Living and Working Abroad. We're talking about tax and Brexit. How does tax affected by Brexit? Well, double taxation treaties are not affected by Brexit, so any existing tax arrangement you've got for property rental income, pensions, business or earnings across border within the EU is not impacted by Brexit because of the double taxation treaty. That doesn't mean that tax is not going to be affected at all. There are some things that will change and some regulations might change. Now, one of the good things about Brexit is that for UK expats travelling on holiday or short business trips into the EU, what we might find is that duty-free it comes back for EU travel as well. So, the EU is this trade-free zone and there's no restriction on the amount you can bring from one country to another within the EU. However, you are paying VAT. VAT is an EU tax. And so you were paying some sort of duty, it was called VAT. Those VAT rebates and duty-free allowances might allow more wine to be brought back from Italy or Spain or France for UK expats and whiskey to Cyprus. So these duty-free is a small minor benefit that will change with tax and Brexit. But because a lot of the noise has been about trade deals and business and tariffs coming in, and they're like anybody that's imported something bought off the internet from China or America will find that when they have those goods delivered from outside the EU, they have to go and pay a little amount of money to the post office. Well, that is a tariff, that is a custom duty. That is because you're importing from outside the EU. And this is potentially where the UK good comes. So all UK goods going into Cyprus could have these little tariffs and these little charges being made. So all that needs to be resolved during the Brexit period. And it is quite an issue, and it will mean a few changes. For business, it might mean regulations and custom forms. For online shoppers, it means tariffs to be paid. But for income tax and investment taxes, essentially those arrangements for expats living and working abroad should remain broadly the same. To keep in touch with the changes that are going to come in during the transition period, I've created a checklist for you to look at and monitor the 10 things to follow during the Brexit period. So you could download a copy of that from our website at proactpartnership.com and follow our vlogs where we look and we'll update these on a regular basis. And the next one that you'll be able to see is how does business affect Brexit. But for tax and Brexit, this is the summary. Double taxation treaties, nothing to do with Brexit, but duties and tariffs could have an impact. And tune in next time to hear about how business is affected by Brexit.
The ProACT Know-How, brought to you by ProACT.